Okay guys, welcome back. Day 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and my honest thoughts about this new version of the flight sim. So let's just go into main menu. I have been messing with this since this morning, trying to add some third-party airports via community folder. By the way, check out the previous video I have posted about 2 hours ago. It's about the community folder, how to find it and how to add the scenery over there, because the location of that community folder is slightly different than the previous one. So make sure to check out that video. Also, a little update about that video. I was pointing out in that video that the second step after you add the community folder files is to go to the game and hit the marketplace. Then you'll be presented with this screen, and over here there is a My Library section. If you click on it, basically what I was explaining in the video, when I added the first third-party airport in the community folder, I went all the way down, and this is the one which I added first. You have to click on it in order to show installed. So I thought every time you add new scenery in that community folder, you have to do this step. However, I have added additional 2 or 3 airports. I went over here and they are not showing. I have added Enables Heathrow, and I also added MK Studios Dublin. But still, I cannot find them. They are not showing here. They're not within these folders either, no matter what I do. However, and this is important, those airports work. They are there. They don't show over here. I don't have to do any additional steps about these, and they still work because I already tested them. That's what I'm gonna show you now. So let's go back. So technically speaking, what I meant, you can skip the step 2 from my previous video and it should show up if you put it correctly into the community folder, which I pointed out. But now, a little bit of frustration, to be honest. I would say certain level of disappointment. There are some great things which I'm absolutely in love with, and definitely big improvements, but there are also still bad things, and I would say bugs related. I pretty much expect it'll be fixed over time, just like with MSFS2020, but I'm gonna actually show you. I'm gonna demonstrate something. So first thing first, let's just go to Heathrow, or you know what, Dublin. India Delta Whiskey. This is the Dublin, so I'll just spawn on that airport just with Cessna. It doesn't really matter now at which airplane. So this is Dublin from MK Studios. I have added to correct from community folder and it does work. So first thing first, let's just spawn anywhere. It doesn't really matter for the purpose of this live stream. I'll make sure to set the live conditions, so live weather, live traffic, save and back, and let's go in the simulator. So the loading times, this is one of the things which are definitely improvement, much faster. Here we are, and let me just press start. So guys, as you can see, the airports, which this one is MK Studios Dublin, it does work. It looks pretty great. Like, it does look much better than in MSFS2020. This is definitely an improvement. Like, I cannot fault it. The performance-wise, absolutely amazing, at least on my system. Of course, bear in mind, this depends system by system. Like, I have mentioned it in previous live stream, but if anybody is wondering, I'm running the simulator on Intel i7 13700K. Then apologies for this noise. Sorry guys, it's just an apartment. It's just a weekly testing of the alarm. It'll go off in a few seconds. Okay, so sorry about that. So i7-13700K, that's my CPU. My GPU is RTX 4080 WindForce V2, 16 gig of VRAM. I also have DDR5 32 gigs at 6000 megahertz, and I'm running on Windows 11. So, first thing first, my positive feedbacks are definitely about performance. It's not, I don't see any hiccups, any major hiccups. Like if I'm moving, if I'm in the cockpit, I took a quick flight with Cessna. I have a traffic on, I have a third-party airport here, as you can see. This one is pretty detailed. And yes, it's not the heaviest airport, I understand, but still, performance-wise on my system, absolutely amazing. I can see huge improvement. Smoothness is much better, generally speaking, so far, of course. So that's the good thing. Now the textures, also an improvement. Like if I would fire up this airport in MSFS20, yes, it does look good, but this is much more crispier. Like the textures, you know what, let me go inside the cockpit. There's too much noise from this air traffic. Okay, sorry, it was too noisy. Okay, so the textures of the airports, and not only this one, but the other 2 or 3 which I tested and added them into community folder, so third-party sceneries. Again, the details on them, you know, all the textures and basically general details are much nicer. I don't see so much of that texture flickering on these buildings. So again, that's another positive for sure. So visually beautiful. To me, this does look nice and nicer, definitely much nicer. Well, not much, but it is an improvement. Some people may disagree with me. I have read some comments on different YouTube videos from yesterday. Some people were mentioning that this is more like a GTA graphic-wise. Well, I kind of disagree. To be honest, the vibrant colors in MSFS220, if you're not tweaking this with Rex Atmos or something like that, they are too oversaturated. In this sim, out of the box, it looks much more realistic, you know, the sky, the clouds, the lightning, specifically lightning. Ray tracing is much nicer. I was taking a flight in London about an hour ago, and it was kind of sunny in that location, and the shadows over the cockpit were extremely nice. Like, again, the details, even in the cockpit, everything is much more sharp, if I put it this way. So all these things, what I'm just describing, this is on my top list, and they are definitely plus of this simulator. So I'm super happy to see that. Performance, again, amazing. Believe me, I took a flight from Heathrow by Inibuilds. Didn't tweak the scenery anyhow. Like, I didn't remove all this static, you know, clutter and all that things what supposedly affect the performance, and it was just so smooth. Even the landing, the approach, there was no hiccups, at least again on my system. It was smooth as heck, and that's also great news. Now let's go to the bad things. As you probably are seeing, the traffic, no, that's a big no. It's so bad. Like, about an hour ago when I was testing it, there was airplanes departing from runway 16, at the same time 28 left, at the same time 28 right, at the same time there were planes landing from the different direction, and they were flying all over just like the flies over the meat. It was disaster, terrible. They are spawning on the taxiways one over another. They are parking on the same spaces. It just looks so unrealistic, and it's so messy. Doesn't affect performance, at least I don't see it. It's nice to have it, but Asobo has to do something, some kind of patch, some kind of updates, because at the moment it's a big mess. So if you are one of those flight simmers who enjoy realistic flights, you know, as much immersion as possible, at the moment, guys, I suggest just turn the traffic off, because it's gonna annoy you. It's super annoying. Like, it's like just the flies buzzing over the dead meat. This is how it looks at the moment. So I'm warning you, it's not pleasant. It's just all over the place. I can accept certain bugs and things here and there, because it's just the second day of launch of this simulator, so it's expected to be not perfect out of the box, but this has to be fixed, and as soon as possible, because to be honest, they did have enough time. They did have a time to learn from MSFS 2020 when they released it. I don't see the reason why this wasn't implemented and fixed and tested. But the AI traffic, it's just a state of mess at the moment. Now, the texture-wise, amazing, beautiful. Like, if they eventually would add all deliveries, which I don't think so because of licensing, it would be great. Because at the moment, you can see here in the front, it's Iberia, but some other aircrafts are just default liveries. But at least the models are quite nice, and they are very sharp, they are beautiful. So I cannot say a bad word about that. But as far as the AI traffic goes and how it maneuvers and how it moves all around the airport, I just suggest please turn it off, at least in the beginning, otherwise you're gonna get annoyed. So that's my first negative. Another one. When I took flight earlier, the controls are at the moment super messy. Yes, it does recognize your peripherals, like the joysticks I'm using. At the moment I have the Thrustmaster Airbus Captain, whatever it's called, the pack with the thrust peripheral as well, and the side stick, and I have rudder pedals. I think those are made also by Thrustmaster, I think. So yes, it does recognize it. Yes, you can tweak it in the menu. I haven't done some tweaking in the menu and settings for the controllers just yet, but as it is out of the box, they are super sensitive. Like, the yoke is also linked to rudders, so just the small movements move the rudders as well, which later conflict with your actual rudder pedals. So you would have to, at the moment, the way how it is, you would have to tweak it to your liking. Because it is really sensitive. Like, I was taking off from the runway, the airplane was going all over the place, it was tilting on the sides. Just the small movements I was making, no, it's bad. At least in this aircraft, which is by Asobo, Cessna 172. I haven't tested the Inibuilds A320 just yet, but I was watching some other video a moment ago, and the guy was flying one of the Boeings, which is made by Asobo Studio, 737 MAX, and oh my god, the landing, it's like floating forever. It's just terrible. Like, you would float with that like it's some kind of paper airplane. You just cannot put it down to runway no matter what you do. Like, literally, I was literally trying to move the stick forward to literally bump landing. It's just floating. Yes, eventually I did land it, but it's bad. So at the moment, guys, I kind of think I will go back to fly 2020 for some time until they fix and provide some patches and updates, because there are still plenty of the things which needs to be fixed. I'm hoping that FSLTL traffic will be ported, or they will update the injector. Apparently it's supposed to work, but I haven't tested or tried myself. I saw some article that it should be working. The injector is made for 224, but I'm sure there must be some kind of update or patches. So far I haven't signed anything official, but once they add FSLTL functionality into this simulator, it will be much better again, because for me, having nice traffic, AI is quite crucial. I really like the immersion. So graphically, I cannot complain. Performance-wise, I cannot complain. Amazing. Amazing, like the shadows, the lightning, the nights, the lights, the city being lit up in the evenings. The fact that we can now port all the third-party airports which we own into the simulator, and it does work, as you can see. Well, great, amazing. The details on those airports much better than in MSFS2020. If I'm talking about specific details like those textures, flickering textures, all that kind of things, this is great. But the AI traffic behaviors at the moment, no, it's a big no-no. It's mess, and I'm gonna keep repeating this. It's a mess. And as I mentioned, also the flight dynamics or physics or whatever you call it, I don't think it's good at the moment. Let's see if the Phoenix A320 will come up with that update, as they said, as they mentioned. So we can install the third-party aircraft such as PMDG or Phoenix. Phoenix is one of my most favorite aircraft I'm flying most. So let's see when that happens. I will test it, of course, and see how that works. So yes, there are so many good things, like good potentials, you know, the game will be definitely good, especially as far as the performance. I also believe people with lower end machines will be able to enjoy it quite well if they lower the graphics. I have it set at the moment between high and ultra manually via settings, and I'm really getting very nice performance. Smooth, no stutters at all, moving in the cockpit, loading textures fast, but then bear in mind, once again guys, this is case by case. Depends on your system, of course. Everyone may experience slightly different performance. For me, I'm very happy about that part. Graphically, shadows, lights, lightning, all that, the colors, yeah, amazing. Like the environment sounds amazing. So a lot of good things, but at the moment what really bugs me in this terrible AI traffic is it's just terrible. It's probably worse than MS220 in the beginning. So let's just hope FSLTL come up and do something for us to be able to use their add-on. And then they definitely have to do something about this dynamics out of the box or flight physics, because in my opinion, I could be wrong. I mean, yes, they did improve how it reacts in the winds, how the airplane reacts if they enter the wake turbulence and all this. That's great. Like, it wasn't the situation what I experienced, but the landing was terrible. The sounds and everything else apart from that is great. What I really like about this simulator though are a couple things here in the toolbar. So the first one is having this tablet. You can actually plan all the procedure via this tablet. Technically you don't need input or import sim brief. You can do it all via this tablet. You can even access charts, but you first have to plan the flight, and then the charts will be available. At least it worked for me before when I tested it. So the payload and the weight and everything is all included in this tablet, including the map. You can change the map settings. You can go to maps, you can terrain, default, or satellite. I like to keep it on satellite. You can turn on the radar, on the weather, the winds. So that's supposed to be reflected later on the map. Once you plan it is reflected, as you can see. And once you plan the route, you will see the route over here in pink color. You can zoom out and zoom in with your mouse wheel. So yeah, like that thing is pretty neat. I like it. And apparently it is available for each airplane, I think. Haven't tested it in Airbus yet, but I believe so. Then there is a good thing also right here, that controller button. which basically opens the settings for your controllers. As you can see, these are my rudder pedals, this is my thrust segment and also side stick. So you can do all these tweaks while you are still sitting in the airplane. You don't really have to go to the main menu and do it there and then return to the game. You know, that was kind of annoying. I don't know if it was actually working before like this in MSFS2020. I have a feeling it didn't. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I find it quite neat. It is actually well structured also. I think you can easily find what you need. But then again, I haven't been messing up with all the settings manually just yet. And then one additional thing which seems to be nice is we have now the Fabio's replay tool embedded. So this is out of the box. If you click on this FCR, it'll open the replay tool. So you can start recording by hitting record button. You have an instant replay, load play SAI, and some other configurations. And this is embedded now. It's actually called FCR embedded, and this is something I think many people will welcome as an additional tool we now have available out of the box. And then you have the camera. All those shortcuts which used to work in MSFS220, such as when you are in cockpit and you would press Ctrl 3, Ctrl 2, Ctrl 1, and you would move via different areas of the cockpit, it doesn't work here. So you have to set it up manually. I haven't done that just yet. At the moment I'm just using mouse. But what I'm gonna show you before I end this stream, let's go to the main menu. And we'll take again free flight. I just want to prove that the third-party airports do work well. So I have also added to community folder Heathrow by Inibills. And this airport, as many of you guys know, even on the good systems, people tend to struggle. Because it's a huge airport, a lot of traffic, a lot of details, a lot of scenery, a lot of textures. Obviously it was very heavy airport. To be honest, at the moment, at least in this simulator, at least on my system, I cannot fault it. It works pretty well. I'm gonna show it to you. So I can feel maybe a frame or two less than, let's say, in the Dublin airport, obviously, but it's not such a big difference, and it was quite smooth. So let me just click start as usual. There we go. There you go, guys. Inibills Heathrow. It all works. Everything works as supposed to. Like your jetways, moving jetways, terminals, all the details. Here you can see some liveries provided by Asobo. You know, again, performance, super cool. Like, I don't know if you see it the same way on your while watching the stream, but for me, absolutely smooth. Look what's happening, okay? The mess is happening. This is ridiculous. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do, but this is just a break of immersion so much. I'm really gonna turn it off soon because I can't see this. This is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I'm not sure if they're trying to fight together. I wouldn't be surprised if they start shooting each other, but guys, you see what I was talking about? The AI traffic at the moment? State of disaster. Look what's happening over here. It's just the flies flying all around the... Oh Jesus, it's terrible. The AI traffic has to be fixed as soon as possible, and it will be much better. But as far as the performance, it's such a busy airport, and the one made by Inibills, and bear in mind, I haven't tweaked anything within the folders of Inibills of this airport. Anything. Everything is just working out of the box. I just add it into community folder of MSFS2024, Reminder for those who haven't seen it, today I posted a video how to find a folder because it's a different location than MSFS220. So watch that video if you want to add some of your sceneries into MSFS224. You know what? Once we turn off the traffic, I think this will be pretty decent, and I will try to tweak some of my controllers later on today. And I will test Inibuild's A320. Perhaps I will take a short flight from some place to another place. But as far as the sceneries and the performance, guys, amazing. Like, and let's remind ourselves, this is Inibuild's Heathrow. This is an airport where people struggle with performance. I didn't, not in my system. And you don't need 4090. I have 4080. Yes, it is a very good graphic card. It is expensive graphics card as well, but you don't necessarily need a 4090 if you think that. This simulator runs pretty nice on high-end computers. I think that it'll run also pretty nice on mid computers. I'm not sure. I cannot judge that. Again, every system is different, but in my case, I cannot say nothing bad about performance. The AI traffic issue is another story. I have already mentioned that. That's horrible. But everything else, what I mentioned in the beginning as the positives, those are great. Look at the textures. Very crisp, sharp, nice, readable. All the runway signs and taxiway signs, amazing. And let's just remember once again, this is the Inibuild's Heathrow. It does work, and only thing I had to do is to add it to correct folder for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, because those locations are slightly different. So, oh my gosh, this is just a madness. The sounds are cool, but they have to fix these behaviors, because what's happening at the moment is like end of the world. Yeah, and I took a short flight with Cessna from Heathrow back to Heathrow, and I can tell you, very smooth. No hiccups, no stutters. Perfect, I mean, as I was approaching, not perfect flight, not the perfect how the airplane was behaving, but performance-wise, approach, seeing buildings in London in distance, like the textures on the ground, and such a smooth performance without any stutters, that's a big plus for me. And I hope it'll be also a big plus for you. So yes, the third-party airports do work, at least those which I tested. So far so good. I didn't have any CTDs at all, no crash to desktops. That's also positive. I cannot complain on that part, but for me the two major things would be, please fix the AI traffic behavior, or if not, let's turn it off and let's have a FSLTL ported over to this simulator, or potentially FS traffic, one of them, and then I'll be much more happier. And probably also the floating issue during the landing, at least with Cessna, it's just undoable, it's just terrible. Apart from that, I can't say anything bad. I am very happy with the way how it looks, the way how the clouds looking, the way how the live weather is working, the way how the skies are looking, the lightning in general, lightning during the night or dusk or dawn, all that looks amazing. Textures, the crispiness of the textures being sharp. I don't see any flickering textures so far. I'm sorry. So that's definitely many good points. Well, make your own opinion, give it a test yourself on your systems, try some third-party sceneries yourself if it works for you, see how the performance is on busy airports, and if you have any opinions, comments, or anything you want to ask, feel free to leave the comments in comment section. Like, subscribe, and let's not do this, what this guy is doing here, otherwise they'll get killed someone. Alright guys, thank you for watching. and I'll see you soon in some of the next videos. You have a wonderful day, and enjoy tweaking the simulator. Take care.